Hey guys, it's Phantom's Listener here, back again with another Phantom's Listener video. Sorry that I didn't upload like on the certain day that I promised, which was on Saturday. I was busy on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'll tell you guys at the end of the video what happened, but today I bring you a new series, not really, but a short series that is going to be included in the 2012, 2003, 2007, etc. TMNTs. Today we're going to start with Rise TMNT and what is this specifically? Yandere series. I'm going to start with Yandere Mikey X Listener because I've been saving a Yandere Mikey picture. I don't think it's really Yandere, I think it's just, you know, Mikey being in love or love sick. But I've been saving that image for a long time. Take a sip of this coffee. I actually have two drinks for us today. My sort of coldish coffee. Today I decided to make iced coffee. And my Coca-Cola. I bought at the store. Bought at a sort of a 7-Eleven. And my Instagram, this weird link server, wattpad. Songs that I use will be in the description below. We're very close to 5K. I hope we get there, and I'll see you guys in the video. Actually, small announcement, I'm actually remaking my intro to the video, because I opened up my Coke bottle, or Coke can, and my voice now sounds different than when I was drinking the coffee. So take a sip of this Coke, and let's get started. You and Michelangelo have been dating for a while now. For a year, at least. And he's been getting very clingy. It seemed like Mikey, but a weird kind of clingy. Wasn't like him, but you were getting used to it by now. But then weird things started happening. Like as if he was getting jealous of you hanging out with your friends. It was summer. This is a sort of continuation to the first day of summer thingy. It was summer, so your friends were, of course, always or sometimes asking you to come over or asking you to do things, fun things for the summer. This one time, your male friend asked you to come over to play video games, and you told Mikey that you were going out to play some video games with your friends. He asked if he could come over, and your friend said it was just you and him. But then you noticed someone watching you out the window. Why am I stuttering so much? Probably because I'm scared. Watching you out the window, and it was the sort of pink tinted neon-ish eyes. You didn't mind it. It was probably your friend's LED lights, but he didn't have any LED lights outside. So what was it? When you got back home, Mikey was doing the same thing as he was. Well, not home, but back to the lair. He was drawing and swaying his feet back and forth as he was laying on his chest plate. He looked at you and smiled. "Listener, you're finally back, darling." He hugged you. You noticed the strange nickname, darling. He never called you that. It would usually be Leo with the sort of darling, dear, and ish nicknames. So you knew something was off. I had to pause it because I heard someone moving and I thought someone was waking up, so I didn't want to get in trouble. But anyway, so you decided to ask him, "Why did you call me darling, Mikey?" You said in a sweet and soft voice, calmly. Don't I always call you darling? Or sweet, cute nicknames? And then you point out, "It's usually Leo that calls me darling, but that's okay. I like that." You placed your hand gently on his cheek, rubbing his cheek slightly. He leaned into your touch and smiled and went back to drawing. You went to your room that you had in the lair, laid your things out, petted your cat, Fluffball, and laid in bed to sleep. You noticed this sort of snickering or muttering in the middle of the night. You woke up, you rolled over in bed. You sort of opened your eyes. Rubbing your eyes, you first questioned, "Mikey?" It was Mikey. He didn't hear you. But you opened your eyes and you watched. and Mikey was talking to himself, saying, "So, I see these little friends." He did quotation marks. He sounded like he was speaking in the Dr. Delicate Touch voice. "These sort of friends are trying to take my sweet, sweet angel cakes away from me. I'm not gonna let that happen, because angel cakes belongs to me, right?" He gave a side glare to see if you were awake. You immediately closed your eyes. He snapped out of being Yandere-ish or Yandere Dr. Delicate Touch, his eyes from going to a neon pinkish back to his bluish eyes that he had. Listener? You awake, angel cakes?" He said in his normal Mikey worried voice. You were shaking underneath the covers after what you heard. He lifted up the covers and said, "Angel, are you okay? Are you cold? Sick?" He gently lifted up your chin to see if you had a fever. "Oh, thank God. Why are you looking at me like that?" You finally snapped out of it and said, Nothing. Sorry, I had a nightmare. Sleep paralysis, you know." "Oh, you poor thing." He hugged you. "I'm sorry. I was working at the desk. My insomnia kept waking me up, so I got up to draw something that made no complete sense, that his insomnia was waking him up. Which, correction here, I did mean to say that. I'm just putting this in the video so nobody points out that that made no sense. It was supposed to make no sense so listener would notice his insomnia, quote unquote, was keeping him up. Isn't it supposed to be that his insomnia was making him stay up? Take a sip of this Coke. Coke, you thought. You thought for a moment. Insomnia keeping him up. Didn't he mean, insomnia. Oh my God. Cut this out. His insomnia interrupting his sleep. What? You thought it made no sense at all. But you went with it. After what you heard, you knew he was going like nuts for you or something. Or he was going nuts himself. But you decided to keep testing him and see what his limit was. Of course you were completely and scared, like he would do something to you, but you knew Mikey wouldn't be able to hurt you. So of course you did what you loved, hanging out with your friends and hanging out with the turtles, which was another thing. He got jealous of you hanging out with his brothers. After what he said a few nights ago, you started hanging out with Donnie, Leo, and Raph more. Raph was for like you comforting him about, some emotions or being tough, and that he was going soft on everything when he was supposed to be like a boss. And Leo was just like, the flirty one, teaching you how to deal with your sword/weapon of your choice. And Donnie for science lab stuff, and he was pretty flirty with you and smooches and etc. Even though you and Mikey were dating, Mikey was polyamorous or pansexual. Polyamorous, as polyamorous and poly are a total different thing, like I explained in my summer video, but I have my own description of polyamorous. It was polyamorous. My version in this AU is that he sort of accepts his brothers flirting with you and yada yada, but they're not dating. But after what happened, and when he started going, let's say, quote unquote, Dr. Delicate Touch, he started getting jealous of his own brothers? Question mark. You noticed that he would cross his arms, he'd look away, he'd crunch his hand into a fist or just start walking away. One day you decided to confront him about it after you just hanged out with Leo and he just called you darling, as he would, or sugar. And he said it in a very seductive way, which made you blush. You're still blushing from it a little bit. And Mikey was looking away. He's pretty mad. His eyes once again in a sort of-ish neon pink tone. He tapped his shoulder and said, Mikey, I need to talk to you for a second. He turned around and said, in a kind of-ish rough tone. You know that someone gives you when they're annoyed? That kind of him. If you're available, I'd like to talk to you in private, you said in a soft tone. Sure, that'll be great, actually. I was going to ask to talk to you too. He smiled as he gently grabbed your hand and dragged you on to the room you two shared. And he said, so, who's going first? He sort of gave you a glare. He never glared at you before, and you noticed he was glaring. You said, well, I'll go first. You kind of straightened yourself, or toughened yourself up, and toughened your voice and said, Mikey, I've been noticing your strange behavior lately. Your behavior when I hang out with my friends, with your own brothers, even with April. April's your closest friend, and you've been getting jealous of everybody. I don't understand why, and I want to know why you're like this. They're just friends. They're not going to do anything with me, you know? He got more angered up and he wanted to act up about it, but he kept that, anger inside of him, and he replied with, take a sip of this Coke. There we go. Well, darling, he gently rose your chin up. The only reason I'm jealous of your friends, jealous of my own brothers, even April, is that I'm trying to protect you. You need to see my side of things too. I don't want anyone having you. I want you all to myself. Yeah, I'm being greedy. I don't want to share. It's not selfish of me, is it? But you're mine, and only mine, and I want you to keep that in mind, that you're only mine, and you're going to stay with me forever and ever. He kind of gave that kind of, Tales, like Crazy Tales vibe. Never. Your faces were kind of 2 inches apart, like he was gonna kiss you. You blushed a little, but you froze in place, like you've never seen Mikey like this. His eyes giving a strong, and I mean strong, neon pink glow, kind of like, neon pink. Kind of like, instead of blood, they use that pink color for Danganronpa, sort of like that, but kind of more neon-ish. He grinned as he let go of your chin. That's all I want you to know. And out of nowhere, I think, let's say if Mikey had pockets in his shorts or on his belt, he pulled out this kitchen knife. And if they ever try and do something that I don't like, keep in mind that something terrible, very, very terrible and tragic. He gently, as in he the knife's blade touched your cheek a little bit, but not enough to, cut you. It wasn't that kind of knife that would just instantly cut you. something very tragic is going to happen to them, darling. And you're not gonna like it. He took the knife off and put it back and walked off like nothing happened. You stood there frozen in place. Donnie came in and said, "Hey, I didn't overhear the conversation, but is everything okay in here?" You stood there and looked down at the floor, not saying anything, scared. "Hey," he gently rose up your chin to look at him. "You can talk to me, you know that?" You finally snapped out of it. I'm okay, Donnie, don't worry about it. Just, I can't hang out at the lab today, okay? I have work to do back at the apartment. But it's summer, you don't have any work on the computer to do anymore. No assignments. I double checked. Oh, it's something my mom sent me. It's for the family tree for Thanksgiving. And then he, like, big brain, he thought, it's almost Valentine's Day. Why are you doing an assignment for Thanksgiving? And then you grabbed your backpack, grabbed fluff ball, and ran off to your apartment. And Mikey, he was, standing there talking to Leo, rocking back and forth, kind of doing that cute little, that cute little stand. But when you walked out, you noticed he was looking at you with his pinkish eyes and that same grin. But when he looked back, he seemed normal. You're paranoid. You got in through the emergency exit as you usually would at your apartment, and kind of panicked when you were sitting at your desk. You started to cry. This fluff ball nuzzled you and gave off that sad, worried meow. You said, "I don't know what to do, fluff ball. I never knew he could get like this, and neither do I want him or my friends to get hurt. I don't want to hurt him." As Fluffball communicated with you, you replied, "I know it's self-defense, but I can't hurt someone that I love so much, Fluffball." You gave Fluffball chin scratches and scratchies behind the ears. Take a sip of this Coke. God, that is a lot of foam. Fluffball, of course, agreed, but also disagreed because what if he tried to hurt you and etc. You sighed and said, "I know he's not going to hurt me, but I'm going to do everything I can for him not to hurt them, especially his brothers. They didn't do anything wrong." You dressed up, well, not really dressed up, but you got in some a black hoodie or just something to camouflage yourself, and then you went down to your friend's house. It was a sort of tree house in the, not really the woods, but a sort of a creek that you and Mikey hung out also a few times, having a picnic. And you guys were just, hanging out and everything. And as you walked out of the creek, you noticed a strange figure kind of at this tree, this very much familiar tree, which had M plus L, or whatever letter you prefer, which meant Mikey plus that letter. And that figure seemed to have on a orange hoodie, or a black hoodie, which Yanderes would mainly sometimes wear black, with very, very, and I mean this time very neon-ish, very glowy neon pink eyes with white heart pupils. When you realized who it was, you ran, and you noticed they were following you too. You slide into this dead end, which you thought was the shortcut to your house. It was a dead end. And once Mikey caught up to you, he sort of pinned you to the wall and said, "What did I tell you? That's one strike. Get to 3. And something bad's gonna happen, darling. I don't want to hurt you." He had that same knife up to your cheek. And he was very shaky, like he was trying to get that feeling or side out of him, or trying to control it, because he really didn't want to hurt you. After quote-unquote Mikey stopped speaking, he said, or Yandere Mikey said, "I will do what's necessary. I won't hurt you, but I will do what is necessary to me. You know I love you, right?" He tilted his head while giving you a small little peck on the lips. Mwah. If I see you hanging out with him one more time, not even 3, just one more time, that's it. I'm going after them, and I'm going to do something you're not going to like to both of you. Understood? You nodded in fear. You were like, it was like you were trying to run away from him, or, you know, slide down or slide to the left or right to get away from him, but he wasn't letting you. He soon gave off a small giggle. Don't try and run away from me. It's not going to work. Just understand that I'm everywhere you go, and that you can't escape me. I love you. He put the knife away, giving you a small, passionate, but it felt wrong at the same time. A passionate, wrong, question mark, kiss. You kissed him back, of course, wanting to make him satisfied and that you agreed, or that you were going to obey him. Then he just, you know, slided into the sewer and went back to the lair. Take a sip of this Coke. You went back to your apartment, terrified of what just happened. You lay down, well, you take off your coat, lay down, and just think about it. His expression, they left you in fear. Those eyes, that was what was haunting you, his eyes. Because, like, the pink color, the pigment, it wasn't normal. It was like he was hypnotized. Poisoned? Question mark? You didn't even know at this point. But you didn't want him hurting your friends. You were literally picking or choosing what was more important to you. One, his brothers, or himself, or your friends. All of them, because why would he kill or hurt innocent ones, your friends? 2, why would he hurt his own brothers? And 3, why would he hurt you? Of course he had his reasons too, but stupid reasons. A few months after, like at least 1 or 2, oh god, you soon forgot about the assignment, aka Mikey being a yandere, because he seemed normal. He seemed like Mikey. His eyes were normal. He seemed to give you the attention he was giving you before, so you thought, oh, the little effect must have worn off. Thank God. So finally you decided to text your friends back that you were available. Your friends called you over for a little party, like a small little house party, and you decided to go. Seemed like fun. After what happened, you found Mikey in your apartment, sitting on your desk chair, your work chair, with a knife in his hand, his legs crossed, and same eyes, white heart pupils. Instead they seemed cracked, cracked hearts or broken hearts, and the pink, neon pink pigment seemed sort of red, sort of reddish pink, blush pink. And you were staring at you, like dead to the soul, staring at you. And he threw the knife, gently or just slightly sliding across your cheek, leaving a small cut. Of course, you replied with a, "Ow, ouch, ow." And he got up and got the knife that was stuck on the wall, putting it up to your other cheek and said, "So, what did I tell you 2 months and a half ago? You thought I forgot? You thought it was over? Oh, you were wrong. I was just testing you, and you took advantage of that to go to a stupid little party with your friends. You were too afraid to say anything. Giving me the silent treatment, I see. No problem. I didn't want it to come to this, but you left me no other choice." His voice in a second changed as he felt an impact on your head. Passed out. A few hours later, waking up to this empty, silent, pitch black room. Nothing but a single light. You were tied up. Chained up, actually. Not even tied up, you were chained up. Chest, legs, and hands. You couldn't move. It felt like the chains, every time you moved, tightened more and more. Your hands felt like they were slowly being cut up by the chains. You heard slight chuckling, then giggling, then maniac psychopathic laughter from the darkness as he stepped closer and closer till you saw him. Mikey. But that wasn't Mikey. That was just an ordinary Mikey. It wasn't Mikey. Didn't seem like him. He gave you this exact look right here. But instead, he had blood all over his hands, his mask, his chest plate, his legs, and the knife he was holding. And he said, "Oh, dear sweet angel cakes, I warned you. I gave you 3 little chances. And if you had listened to me, I maybe would have put some trust in you and would have let you go. But you tested me and teased me 3 little times. And what did I do? Something you wouldn't like and something tragic. Very, very tragic. You saw, coming from the darkness, or just appearing from the darkness, just blood spilling to where you were, and you looked at him as you aggressively tried to pull your hands away from the chains, tightening up more. What did you do? What did you do to them? You said in a shaky voice. As of course the chains tightened up more, he said, I recommend you not to move, Angel Cakes. I don't want these chains. Donnie exclusively made for me. I don't want them to hurt you. And they won't reset until I say so. He even asked what these were for. I didn't really tell him. I told him it wasn't important. Like I said, I did something very, very tragic to them. Very. He gently rubbed the knife against your cheek, leaving some of their blood on there. What a tragedy. Sadly, I'm just going to have to leave you here for a little bit until you learn your lesson. Oh geez, I'm at 20%. Oh, 19, oh god. Any Whizzle, until you learn your lesson. He came close to your lips, teasing you. Then he giggled. After all of this, you really think you deserve a kiss? No, you don't. I'll be coming back next week to see how your behavior has changed, darling. See you there. Mikey did come back the next week. Of course, there was Donnie. Donnie, of course, couldn't unchain you. It was voice commanded. The chains were voice command by only Mikey and Mikey only, which it was his stupid idea to make it for Mikey. If he didn't listen, then he couldn't have done this to you. He brought you food and drinks every day, but he made sure to not leave a trace. He felt bad for you. He held your face, and of course, he didn't wipe the blood off, but he gave you kisses and made sure to, just make sure that you're okay. Mikey came back happily, swinging a bat back and forth. Not that he hurt anybody, but like he was going to do something. And he sat down in front of you, or crouched down in front of you. Well, good morning, sunshine. Or should I say, good night. I'm back the very next week, and let's see how your behavior improved. The heart pupils were back. They were back in shape, like they were mended or something. You softly asked them, what's the bat for? He said, well, I was telling myself not to do this, but answer the questions wrong and you get hit. Like whack-a-mole. Oh my god, that sounded like Deku. Anyway. So, you're gonna hit me if I just get the questions wrong? You said like you were going to cry. Basically. But it won't be that hard. I'm sure you know all of these. Number 1. Do you love me, listener? He gave you a psychopathic ass smile with his eyes widened as he had a grip to the bat, like he was ready to take a swing. You said in a very soft voice as you took a deep breath and looked at him with the most passionate, loving eyes. I, listener, love you, Michelangelo, with all my heart and soul since we started dating. You're the love of my life, Mikey. Correct. I'm impressed you got that right, darling. He gave you a peck on the cheek. 2. Are you ever going to replace me? His tone of voice seemed to get rough and deep as he said that. Like he was getting mad that you were getting it right. No. I swear to you and swear to my heart and soul, I'd never replace you with anyone. Not your brothers, not my friends, not my family. I put you first. then me second. I'm never first. You're in first place, Mikey. Correct. Last but not least, he put the end of the bat on your chin, basically raising your chin up a little bit. Do you love me? He asked you the same question just a few minutes ago. Why was he asking you that again, you thought? You gulped. Gulp. Basically. Take a sip of this Coke. A very kind of this last sip that I have. He said with a shaky voice, yes, Mikey, I love you. I would never love someone else. Please. Please. You literally broke at the moment. You're really scaring me. He broke down in front of him. He started to cry. As he dropped the bat, he snapped out of it, like completely out of it. He dropped the bat, and his eyes went back to normal. Looking at his surroundings, looking at his hands, and looking at you. You were, of course, looking down, crying, just letting it all out. And he said, hey, Angel Cakes, look at me. He gently held your face. It's me. Mikey, it's me. He wiped your tears. When he held your face, you flinched. You flinched? You scared of me? He cheered up. You nodded. Of course you were scared to nod, but you nodded when he asked if you were scared of him. Oh God. God, what have I done? I'm gonna get you out if you're okay. Hey, I didn't mean to do this. Of course, by voice command, he told the chains to, like, let you go. He took a look at all the cuts and, bruises that the chains had made by how tightened they were. He took you back upstairs, and basically it was kind of your basement. He cleaned up the place, he cleaned you up, and made sure to, comfort you. Of course, it was going to take weeks of recovery, months, years, but you regretted everything he did. Of course, he couldn't, go back in time and fix everything. But the thing is, he did do the right thing. Your friends were only using you. That's the thing. When he was sitting next to you on the couch, on the love couch, which you guys were very close to each other, like touching shoulders, really, he said, listener, he was fidgeting with his hands, I kind of did the right thing. Not to you, but to your friends. You sniffled. Why do you say that? You said in a sort of depressing tone. They were using you, and me, and everybody else, even April. Even though April was the bravest one, besides Raph. We didn't want to tell you that. We thought you'd realize that all of them were just using you for your kindness and everything you did. And I didn't want that happening. I think I let myself go, and I went crazy about that, and that I wanted to protect you so much that I ended up hurting you. He cheered up again. Mikey, it's okay. I understand you. I need a little bit of time, okay, buddy? You put your head on his shoulder. I get that. You need time to recover. You want to cuddle? Maybe that'll make you feel better. You nodded. He took you over to the room, bridal style, because he just picks you up like that. Big man, he's strong. And he started cuddling you. I'm sorry, okay? I never meant to do any of those things to you. He held you close. I know you didn't. You nuzzled him. I know it wasn't you, Mikey. I know. Oh jeez. I'm sorry, he mumbled as he gave you a kiss on the head. That's all for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video is going to be like almost, not even almost, this video is going to be probably either 39 or 40 to almost an hour long, because I'm guessing this is going to be 39/45-46 minutes long, because I put a whole ass role play, not that I did, but that I had in my head, plus I kept on pausing, and that I had to like think at the same time. Take a sip of this Coke, and that like Coke here has a lot of gas too, and then I kept like burping and stuff, and I was like, oh god, that's embarrassing. And I just hope you guys enjoyed that. Like, that was the biggest plot twist ever. And I really enjoyed doing Yandere Mikey. I think that was, if I have to say, that's better than Yandere Tales, because he just didn't just go up to your friend's house and hello there, acts all nice and just stabby stabby stab stab. No, he kidnapped your friends and just stabby stab. But anyways, my Instagram, Discord link server, wattpad, and the songs that I use will be in the description below. Oh, and before I forget, credit to this person on TikTok, TMNT Edits 137. Credit to them. I think this is either an edit or that's the official artist. I do not know, but there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.